Welcome to the Cosmic Cradle, and this is Tales from Our Dreams. Have you ever had a dream that felt so real you thought you were actually living it? In this channel, I will read to you stories of people's vivid dreams, and you can listen to this at any time of your day, or perhaps before you sleep. So here it goes. This story is from myself, as I have always had these lengthy dreams that felt like long novels. In this dream, there was a war going between witches and warlocks, and the two factions seems to have been at war for some time, with the witches having the upper hand. I was walking somewhere, a place I do not recognize in my waking moment, and it was dark and desolate. There were buildings now in ruins. The ground, the roads were broken and torn apart. As I looked around, there were spirits being summoned from their slumber, rising up from the ground like smoke, and they formed into ethereal bodies. When awakened in this manner, they become mindless and seek destruction. Now they are abound and let loose. I walked towards this low-rise commercial building through the entrance and took the stairs up a second floor. Inside, there was Vince. He is a tall guy with his hair parted on the middle, and he is slumped on his chair. In this dream, I knew him and went to approach him as he wouldn't leave. Is this how we part? I thought. I stood there watching him with the place crumbling apart. And with heaviness in my heart, I feel like this might be our last moments together. I wanted to tell him everything will be all right, but this building where he holds his office for his business is now going to ruins, and I honestly have no words to comfort him. I noticed an old woman step out of the door, and she sat on the sand where she started forming a circle and proceeded to chant. I think she is starting to perform some sort of a ritual. Upon seeing this, I walked over to Vince to inform him that the divination has started. The spirits that were summoned have started sinking their teeth and tearing the entire place apart. But wait, where are the people? I looked around and oddly, I don't see a lot of people. Or maybe they're all tucked inside their homes and hiding from all of these scary beings flying all over the place. I went over to the old witch chanting and I poured salt on her circle, and the borders lit into flames, soaring up into the air, and it made me jump. Then she turned to me and said, "I don't need your help." I thought that was strange. That helped? I thought salt was supposed to render her divination ineffective. I was supposed to delay whatever she was doing, but I did not realize that I made it even worse, as it appears that I may have helped her instead. It was at this moment that I realized that I am one of them. She was not upset nor angry at me. I can walk around unharmed by these entities. I looked around and thought to myself, why are they even allowing me to help the sons of our enemies? I knew I was dreaming, but somehow I felt compelled to live at that moment and do what I needed to do, and that is to help these two people escape. I did not understand it, but it is as if I was seeing my life play out before my eyes. A version of life, that is. Somehow I am living inside my dream, and something I do not question at that moment. Now, out from the corner of my eye, I saw a car swerve to a halt, and I thought, is he going to escape now? Did he come to pick me up? In my dream, of course, I knew this guy, and it was Joey. In this dream, I couldn't quite figure out if he was with me, but all I knew is that he and Vince were important to me. He stepped out of the blue sedan car that looked like one of those Mazda brands. His hair is disheveled, and he was carrying an item in one arm, which looked like an old armor. He asks an old man who seemed to have appeared out of nowhere and standing by the door, and Joey was asking for the rest of the armor. Why is that important now? I asked. Shouldn't you be escaping from this place? But he ignored me and continued talking to the old man. From where I stood, I could see Vince not far, and still with a trodden look on his face. I must convince him to go with Joey. I looked over to the witch, who was performing a ritual, and she was still chanting. And I can hear her say some words that I do not quite decipher nor understand. But by the looks of it, however, there is no delaying whatever she intends to unleash, and I have no time left. I run back inside and climb to the stairs to Vince's office. Vince, I called out, Joey is leaving and you should too. This place is now in chaos, and there is nothing you could have done and could do. I reached out and took his hand. Please, I asked, look at this place. You can rebuild elsewhere like you always have done. My own heart ached saying these words, knowing that this place is his life's work. He looked at me, but I could not decipher his thoughts. His eyes were sad, and they were blank. But to my surprise, he stood up and looked at me, and with a smile, he said, Do you think Joey will let us join him? Relief washed all over me upon hearing this. Vince stood up and walked over to me. I grabbed his hand and pulled him to run downstairs, where Joey was. Like a spirit returning to its mortal body, I woke up. Why does my dream have to feel so real? And who is Vince? I remember Vince and Joey's face like as if I knew them from a long time ago. But there is no one that remotely resembles them in my real life, nor do I have friends named Vince or Joey. I still remember this dream and wonder who those two people are. I feel like maybe I have two friends out there somewhere in another world. Now, if you want to share your dreams, vivid, strange, that feels like a cosmic glitch, send them to me and I could read them. Check out the details below. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a nice and wonderful cosmic life. See you in Dreamland.